Yo. Yo, hey, what you need, Holmes? Hey, yo, what set you from, punk? Hey. Yeah, that's what I thought. Keep walking, punk. Hey, I got an appointment here at 4:30 with Walter. His office is the last door to the left. Yo, hey, you Walter? Hey, you must be Gary. Hey, come on in. Make yourself comfortable. There's a coat rack if you want to hang up your jacket. No, I'm good. So what can I help you with today, Gary? I don't know. You don't know, huh? Alright, well, let's start with that. Why are you here? I don't know. I was told to come here by the judge. Well, actually, the judge gave you a choice. To go back to jail or to come here and see me. But you chose to come here. You know what that tells me? What? That you're either here to jerk me around and try and stay out of jail for a couple more days, or that you're here to do some serious changes. So what is it? Alright, well, let me tell you what's going to happen then. You sit there, don't say anything, and I sign the papers, and you go straight back to prison. Hey man, why you gotta be like that? Hey, that's not what I want, but that's what's gonna happen if you keep stonewalling me. Well, I just don't know what I'm supposed to say. Well, just tell me about yourself. I don't know anything about you. Why don't you tell me something about you? Alright, well, I'm 36, grew up in Edmonton, former gang member. Really? Yeah. I got sick of all that crap and wanted to do something that meant something to me. So I finished school, went to university, and now I'm here talking to you. And I'll tell you what. I didn't go through 7 years of school to send kids like you to jail. So now you know a little about me. Why don't you tell me a little about yourself? Like, where'd you grow up? What was your childhood like? Stuff like that. Alright. Well, I grew up in the west side. Poor as hell, obviously. No dad. Mom was a junkie. So what was that like? What do you think? Well, I know what it was like for me when I was a kid, but I need to know what it was like for you. The house was a dump. Stunk. There was bottles everywhere from a party the night before. You know. I always remember the front door was always open because nobody bothered to close it because there was like nothing to steal anyways. I mean, even for the ghetto, our house was a dump. I'd wake up and there'd be like nothing to eat at all. No meat, no veg, no milk, nothing. If I wanted cereal, I used to have to use tap water for milk. You know how it was. You said your dad wasn't in the picture. What happened with him? He took off on my mom before I was even born. I heard he got killed in a bar fight, got knifed. I got like 8 brothers and sisters from him. Did it hurt you when you found out that he was dead? Nah, I didn't know him from nothing. How am I supposed to care about a guy I never even know, you know? Tell me about your siblings. I don't even know them. And tell me how you feel about that. What, having a sperm shotgun for a dad? Yeah, I hate him. Your mom, tell me about her. She was a junkie, like I said. H? Nah, crack. Tell me what she was like when she was around. Well, when she wasn't out hoeing or scoring, she would just come home to party or to crash. Some days she was good, you know. She'd make me supper and sit with me. She'd say how last night was the last night that she'd be out partying and screwing around. That she'd clean up, go straight. But then she'd go back to screwing around. You know, one time I came home and the TV was gone. And I never saw her again. That must have been pretty hard. Of course it was. I didn't get to watch cartoons. After that, my auntie came by and got me. But she wasn't any better than my mom. Then the province found me and they put me in a home. But as soon as I got there, I ran away. I kept on running. Every house they put me in, I'd be out of there. Did you know where you're going when you'd run away? Nah, I just knew I couldn't be there. I just wanted to be somewhere, anywhere else, you know? They'd keep trying to find me. They'd put me in another home and I'd keep running away. Then one day I met Fred. He was a little bit older than me, but he seemed to know so much. His big brother was in a gang, and he wanted to be just like him. He was cool. He let me stay at his place. We'd go to the grocery store, rack up, and steal whatever we needed. And that's when I first got caught by the cops. Didn't take me long to stop being scared of them. I'd get caught stealing, fighting, I'd get kicked out of school. I never cared. Because none of that mattered to me. What mattered to me was trying to impress Fred's big brother and get into the gang. I got sent to juvie for joyriding. When I got in there, they all looked out for me, you know? It was strange. I felt loved? Yeah, safe, strong, you know. Yeah, I remember what that was like. Go on. When I got out, they tested me. I had to rob a convenience store with a gun. I wanted to impress them so bad, I did it, no hesitation. Man, when I held that thumper in my hand, I felt like a giant, unstoppable. After that, they jumped me in. It was rough. I mean, I knew it was gonna be rough and stuff, but I thought these guys were my homies. They showed no mercy. They enjoyed it, I could tell. After that, I was in. I felt like a G. Got props, got my colors. I was mad dripping. Oh man, that feeling, you know, that power. Everyone knew who I rolled with. Everyone respected me. It wasn't long before I learned that nothing was for free, and I had to start earning. The leader of the gang, Big G, said he'd give me some herb to help me get started. I was so stoked. I busted my ass and made like $1,300 in a couple of days. Man, I felt like a millionaire, you know? But then Big G wanted his cut. I thought he'd just given it to me as a favor. I mean, he never said anything about profit share. Man, he looked at me like I was a retard. He told me he better pay up or he was going to kick my ass. What could I do? Not only was he way bigger than me, but he was like juiced in. I was just a soldier, a nobody. So after all that hard work, all that hustling, this guy takes 80% of my grip. Man, I felt like a total punk. But that didn't matter, because it didn't take me too long to start making some serious paper. Slanging Kush, Brock, White, whatever I can get my hands on. It was messed up, though. I kept wondering when I was going to sell to my own mom, though, you know? Like any day, she was going to come up to me and ask me to fund her some product. Other than that, though, man, it was hard not to have fun at the beginning, you know? Hanging out, chilling, go to the mall, steal, sneaking into the movies, clocking the shorties. That was so much fun. Then we'd run into some punks fronting, throwing up a sign, and we'd roll on them. Stomp them, rob them. Man, we feel invincible in a group, you know? And that was the drug, you know? You'd roll with your boys, you got your grip, girls be wanting to get with you. Man, there was nothing better. But you know, most of the homies were cool and stuff. Real fun guys. But the lieutenants, you know, the OGs, those guys, you know, man, these guys treat us like dirt. Got us do all their dirty work. Stupid little jobs. Even their laundry. They treat you like you were a moron. But most of these jag-offs could barely spell, let alone read. Sounds like you weren't very happy. Man, I hated those guys. Guys are straight up clowns. And they talk a big game about how much money they were making, about how much respect they got, blah, blah, blah. They'd be talking like they were Frank Lucas or something. But most of these guys were always broke. I'd always see them at the welfare office, trying to keep their benefits, you know, so they could pay the rent in their crappy-ass homes. And they wouldn't drive Lexuses or Caddies or anything like that. They drove total piece of crap res cars with rims. Rims! I mean, the rims were worth more than the car was. It's pretty pathetic. But I mean, some guys knew how to get right paid, you know? There was this guy, D-Crew, but he actually hated being called that, so he just wanted to be called Dave. Man, he was a true ace. He was rolling hard. Everybody knew him. Everybody respected him. I mean, he wasn't like the other G's at all. He was smart, cool. He knew how to get things done. You wanted to help him. You wanted to work with him. But then he got caught. But he took it like a man. He even took the heat for Big G. Big G talked how hard Dave was for not ratting, taking his time like a man. He talked about how loyal Dave was, how much of a real gangster that made him. And that just made us love Dave even more. Big G used David as an example all the time. About how to be loyal, about how to show respect, about how to get respect, about how to watch each other's backs. You know, don't rat, be true to your colors. So tell me, why do you feel like you have to be so loyal to them? I feel so loyal to them because they were the first people to ever be honest with me, you know, straight up. You know, they weren't like my mom. They make promises and break them. I mean, it was the first time I ever felt like I was just fine being myself. And that's why you feel like you owe them everything, huh? Because they accepted you for who you were. Yeah, and they've always been loyal and stuff, but there was this one time. I mean, we were at this party one night and we're having a good time. And then these dudes came in from another set. They were acting all hard. Then they threw up a sign. Yo, man, we weren't having any of that, so we called them out. And my boys and their boys ran at it right there in the house. But then one of his punk-ass friends has a machete. Man, he started swinging, going crazy. He got me real bad. Man, everybody scattered. And I was there, alone, bleeding. The cops came, ambulance took me away. Man, I was in the hospital for over a week. Guess how many guys showed up to visit? How many? 0. And how'd that make you feel? Man, you keep asking me, how'd that make you feel? How do you think I felt? I need to hear from you, because I don't want to guess how you felt. What if I guess wrong? Man, I felt alone. Like when your mom left. Yeah. So then what happened? Man, I got out and everyone was like, oh man, so good to see you, man. I missed you, bro. Then I'd ask them why none of them showed up. And they'd be all like, oh yeah, man, there was cops everywhere. I was like, oh, I got warrants. I didn't want to get busted, stuff like that. Man, I thought it was cool. I mean, I said it was cool, but it wasn't, huh? Nah, that hurt. Man, anyways, before me and my boys can find a clown that got me with that machete, he gets killed by another gang. So I got right back to work, slanging for Big G. He brought in this new kid, his nephew. He wanted me to show him how to roll, so I did. And that's when I found out what really mattered to him. Money. Not family, not loyalty, money. His nephew wasn't too bright, but he was a hard worker, and all he wanted to do was make his uncle proud. So he's hustling one night, and the cops are about to bust him. He doesn't want to get busted and get back to Big G, so he does the only thing he can do. He dumps all the product. Cops search him, they find nothing, they gotta let him go. So then he gets home, and then Big G found out. He busts his jaw with a crowbar. Man, nobody could do anything. We just watched him bleed and try to call for help with a busted jaw. All because this kid was smart enough not to get caught with $2,000 worth of stuff and to get his uncle implicated. Big G almost kills his own brother's kid over money. And that's the only thing that matters to them. You paid him. That's it. And I was about to find out firsthand how much loyalty Big G had for me. We were cutting up rocks when the cops came. Yo, man, the cops are coming. Man, get rid of the stuff. But they busted the door down before we could flush it all. Then Big G came up and said, you tell him this is all your stuff, you get me? I ain't going away, man, you get me? Yeah, I get you, jeez. Get on the ground. Hands up, get on the ground. Get your asses on the ground now. I'm unarmed. Man, I give up. So I get hauled in, interviewed, statements. I claim all the rock was mine. The cops weren't having any of it, and neither was the judge. They've known about Big G for years, and they finally had him. Big G got sent up for possession with intent to distribute. I get possession. I didn't have much of a serious record, so I got 2 years, juvie. And Big G gets 15 years in the corrections. He blames me for not getting him less time. Like it's my fault, Yeah, I knew him back in the day, and it sounds just like him. He's a big victim. Everything was somebody else's fault, never his. Go on. So he gets it out there that I ratted on him. Like I'd be in jail at all if I ratted. I get to juvie, and it's out there. I'm a rat. Everybody wanted to do me in. Everyone. You punk-ass rat. Man, you're dead. Man, I didn't rat. Screw you guys if you think I did. Bring it on, punks. Pfft, get ready, kid. Yo, no, I wasn't gonna do anything. Yo, man, what the hell, Dave? Yo, he didn't rat. You wouldn't get sent here if you did, man. Use your head. Yo, I'm sorry, Dave. Don't say sorry to me. Yo, I'm sorry, homie. Yeah, whatever. You alright? Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, don't worry about it. Dave was in for another year. He was finishing his time for what he did for Big G, which apparently was a different story than what Big G had told us. Is that what he told you guys? What a punk. You want to know what really happened? So we just made this huge buy, and we're bringing it in, and we get pulled over by the bulls. And then Big G started punking out. Yo, man, I can't get busted, man. I can't go to jail. I won't make it in there. I gotta look after my brother's kids, I'm the only family he's got. Man, he was so pathetic. Yeah, man, don't worry about it. You're just the passenger, all right? Right? Yeah, Dave, thank you, man. You're a real bro. I really appreciate this. Yeah, man, whatever. So Big G walks, and I'm in here for 3 years. What a punk ass. My image of Big G was already tarnished, but Dave just solidified my beliefs. I told Dave what Big G did to me. It didn't surprise him. So we started hanging out. The more I got to know him, the more I liked him. Dave told me about his sister, his foster sister, I mean. I haven't seen her in like 7 years. I want to see her again, but I can't let her see me like this, man. She's a good kid, an angel. I gotta get my life together before I can see her again. Yo, what you got planned, man? I don't know. Go back to school, get my degree, get a real job. A real job, man? But you're so good at hustling, man. Yeah, I'm so good that I'm in here. Let me tell you something, man. I'd give $1 million to be out of here and going straight right now. Going straight? You mean dropping the flag? Yo, man, you can't betray your colors. And why not, yo? Because of loyalty? Huh? The loyalty that got me in here? The loyalties the homies were going to show you before I showed up? The only loyalty that matters is to the people who love you, who really love you. Yo, man, I ain't got nobody like that in my life, just the homies. Yo, man, don't give me that crap, all right? My parents, dead. My sister, dead. Nobody loved me either, man. But I'm going to let that stop me from having a decent life. You don't have anybody who cares about you enough to do right for? Then care about yourself and start doing right for you. That was the first time anybody ever made me think about an alternative to the game, you know? I mean, if a guy like Dave can have a change of heart, a real hard player like him? So I started going into the healing groups, the counseling sessions, you know? I could hear the other guys saying my story. My mom was a junkie. My parents went to residential school, you know? I didn't feel alone anymore. I didn't feel like I was the only one through that. Took some educational upgrades. Yeah, I saw that, man. You had really good grades. Yeah, they had a lot of experience with guys like me. You know, guys with learning disorders. That helped a lot. So Dave was about to get out. Man, I was more nervous for him than I was for me. He promised to write me, which he did every week. Man, those letters, man, they were like a window to the outside. Man, he was doing good like he said he would. He had a great youth offender counselor, and it was helping him get into school. He told me that Big G was talking smack about me, but he squashed it. The gang wasn't doing so good without Big G, and Dave wasn't going back. 8 months later, Dave was out of school and looking for his sister. That was the last letter I ever got from him. 3 months later, I got out, and that's when I found out Dave was murdered. All I wanted to do was get that guy that got him. All I wanted to do was kill his ass. Man, I found out where he was, and I was going to go in and blast him. I sat out there for like 4 hours, plotting on how I was going to do it. I was going to kick the door in and walk right up to him and cap him right in front of everybody in the house. I was just about to go in when the cops showed up. They were there to arrest him for Dave's murder. Man, I bolted, dumped the gun, and was almost out of there. But then the cops got me fleeing out the alley. I was still jacked from earlier, and I was not in the mood to play nice. It took 3 cops to take me down. I get taken in for resisting arrest. At my court appearance, the judge looks at me. Says here you were just in the youth correction facility just 2 days ago, and you were found fleeing the scene of a notorious drug house, resisting arrest and making threats against a police officer. What am I supposed to do with you? Man, that moment lasted forever. He told me I had a choice. Go straight back to juvie for 4 months and then do a year in the correctional, or go see you for an evaluation. So, here I am. Yeah, and here you are. Gary, I'm glad you found the courage to open up. I know it's not easy coming from where you come from to talk like that. And I get the sense that you're looking to make some serious changes. But what? But I hear you talking about these things, but I don't know how you feel about them. Man, there it is again. Why do you keep asking me how I feel? Because, Gary, I need to know why. Why do you want to change? Because I hate this life, man. I hate looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. I hate having to hang out with a bunch of guys I hate just because they're wearing the same color as me, man. I hate the way I feel about myself. Then why don't you leave? Because I don't know anything else, all right? My whole life it's been just surviving, holding on for 1 more year, 1 more day, 1 more minute. Man, I can't do this anymore, man. I want to live, you know? Not just survive, live. I want to do something where I'm not robbing somebody or selling poison to my own people. But I don't know how, you know? I wish I did. But I don't, you know? I don't. Well, that's where I come in. I believe you want to change. I honestly do. Most guys come in here, they walk out the door in 2 minutes. You didn't. You stayed. That tells me you want change. Real change. But wanting change and walking down the path to change, those are 2 separate things. And then I need to know that you're really ready for this. Because this ain't going to be easy. No, I mean it. Not even a little easy. This is going to be the hardest thing you ever do in your entire life. But I guarantee it's worth it. You're worth it. Are you ready to begin? Yeah. Good. Then let's get started. After some more sessions with Walter, he got me to a group home for youth offenders. It was a nice place. But Walter wasn't playing, man. This was the hardest thing I'd ever do. The hardest thing to do was to fight the temptation to go back. I'd see my crew hanging, having fun. And then the guy was like this. Then the cops came up. I want to hang with them too, but that'd be the beginning of the slide back. I couldn't go back. I got bored so easy. I couldn't sit still at first. It was like being back at juvie. Watching TV, playing games helped a little bit. Tubing, camping, son of a... But then I'd get that old urge to run, like when I was a little kid. I had to fight it. But if it wasn't the urge to run, it was the urge to fight. Any small thing could set me up. He used all the milk. But counseling with Walter really helped. Who drinks all the milk and then puts the carton back? It helped me identify what the problem really was. I was anxious, and this new life was making me more anxious. He helped me acknowledge the fear and accept the fact that it was okay to be scared. That fear didn't make me weak. Man, I didn't know it was okay to be afraid. When I was a kid, it was always a sign of weakness, a way to show people they could hurt you. It's taken me a while to trust that there are people out there, good people who don't want to hurt you. It felt good to trust. Being walled up all the time helped. It kept me safe when I needed it. But now I feel like it's okay to trust. I'm still learning how. It's slow and it's hard, but I won't give up. My education's going good. I mean, it's going well. Walter helped me get into a trades training program, and I'm going to be an electrician. It's tough though. So much learning, but it's really actually kind of fun. I'm embarrassed sometimes I get stoked going to classes. Walter and some people from the group home showed up to my graduation. Man, I honestly didn't think I'd make it through. Now I'm in an apprenticeship program, and my mentor's a really cool guy. He makes like $75 an hour teaching at the school. He has this kick-ass truck and a super nice home. He says I can make up to $30 an hour as a journeyman, but I'll start out at $12 as an apprentice. Life's getting better, but it's still hard. I'd run into some homies, and then I'd get all nostalgic. But they'd see how well I'm doing, and they'd get a bit jealous. Some guys still hate my ass because I got out. They call me a punk. And there's a part of me that just wants to go over and bust their heads in. But then I remember how far I've come. Walking away from that fight was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Things have settled down now, and I've been thinking more and more about David lately. How much he meant to me, how much he inspired me to change. Walter suggested I go to a grief workshop. Man, I wasn't into it at all at first, but then I thought, what the hell? Walter's done right by me all this time. I trust him. Well, I'm so glad to see so many new faces here tonight. Why don't we go around, introduce ourselves, and if you feel up to it, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here. Hey, I'm Gary, and the reason I'm here is, it's okay. You don't have to speak if you're not ready. No, it's all right. I want to do this. The reason I'm here is I had a friend. Well, really, he was more like a big brother, you know? He helped inspire me to get out of a gang and turn my life around. He got shot about a year ago now, and I really miss him, you know? It's okay, Gary. It's okay. You can pass on now. Oh, okay. His name is Dave, and I really miss him. Thank you, Gary. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Gary. My name is, excuse me? Excuse me, Gary? Yeah? Hey, my name is Jenny, and I was part of the group you were in, and, you were talking about Dave Alali, and you're his sister. Yeah. Wow. You're Jenny. Huh. Jenny, would you like to go for coffee maybe and talk? Yeah, that'd be nice.